Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Synder webinar. We're going to get things kicked off here in just a few minutes, but today our topic is the future of e-commerce, merging physical and digital experiences with AR, and we have a special guest with us today, Ron Pazensky with Nvzn, and I will give a full bio for him in just a minute, but as we are getting people in the room, I'd love it if you could just put in the chat where you are joining us from today. We'd love to know. We usually have quite a global crowd, which is amazing. So, and as you're entering stuff into the chat, you'll notice there's options where you can write to everyone or just to the host and panelists. So please mark it for everyone so we can, get to know who's there and maybe, in your area. So I'll kick it off here. I'm joining from California. So yeah, we'll just let people join the room here. And then also, as you are getting logged in, situated, maybe grab a coffee or whatever your favorite beverage is as we go through this webinar. Let us know in the chat, what is your experience so far with AR? Have you ever used it? Is this a brand new topic for you? We'd love to know who's here and what your experience has been so far. We will kick things off in one more minute, so we'll just let the room fill up a little bit more and then we will get started. So again, if you could put in the chat where you are joining us from today and your experience so far with augmented reality, we'd love to know. Be here. Not, let's see. Got some attendees. Haven't got any answers yet. And just so you know, there will be a time where you can ask questions. We're going to have a presentation and then a little bit of questions that I will ask. And then, of course, we always like to open it up to our attendees to ask any of their questions. So as we get to that point in the webinar, you will notice down at the bottom of your chat window, there is a little conversation bubble with a question mark, says Q&A. That's the best place to put your questions. You can stay anonymous if you prefer, or go ahead and give us your name and we'll be sure to get to your questions at the right time. So we are now at 1:03 for me, so we will get started. So again, if you're joining us here today, our webinar is The Future of E-Commerce, Merging Physical and Digital Experiences with AR, and our special guest today is Ron Pazensky from Nvzn. So Ron has made a career of leading companies through digital transformation. In 2012, he learned about augmented reality while doing research for a side project and saw its tremendous potential for use cases in industry and enterprise. By 2018, AR had found its way into the mobile apps of e-commerce leaders like Amazon and IKEA, who were using it to help shoppers envision realistic 3D models of products in and around their home to gauge both the physical and decorative fit. They prove the value of AR to boost conversion and engagement while reducing returns, but smaller companies were locked out of this superpower due to the complexity and expense of implementing it. Ron founded Nvzn in 2020 to democratize virtual product previews for the millions of merchants doing business on the web through e-commerce platforms such as Shopify. So welcome, Ron. We're excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Melissa.
Awesome. So before we dive into, your presentation, can you give us, I know that I kind of gave a high level view of it, but maybe a little bit more about your background and what led you to want to specialize in augmented reality?
As you mentioned in my intro, I kind of happened across it. I had an idea for an app. I started researching that idea and I found out what I wanted to do had a name, and that name was augmented reality. I went down the rabbit hole learning everything I could about that. And uh, what I learned at that time was that the technology just wasn't there yet. It was more of a concept that was being researched in university laboratories and defense companies. But I did find a small community of people who shared my interest in that, and I got involved in that community. And out of that came an annual conference that I started participating in. I started performing a great deal of research, speaking to any uh, conferences that had an interest in hearing about AR and so forth. Um, Started a blog, started a meetup here in Chicago where I'm based, and just kind of waiting for the technology and the industry to catch up with the very promising use cases that were out there.
Awesome. Well, we're very excited to see your presentation. So if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen, we can take it away.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's get that going. And can you confirm that you're seeing my screen okay, Melissa?
Yes.
Very good. All right. So once again, I am the founder and CEO of Nvzn, and I'm super excited to talk to you today about how AR is revolutionizing the retail landscape. So in my presentation, I'm going to explore how AR is bridging the gap between online and in-store experiences, creating new opportunities for businesses and consumers alike. So humans are very accustomed to seeing and touching the things that they wish to buy. Going back millennia, our ancestors would never have bought a horse without inspecting its hooves, or a cow without tasting its milk, or seeds without checking for rot. This sensibility persisted as retail evolved into stores and marketplaces. Before handing over our hard-earned cash, we've always wanted to be sure that we're getting what we expect. Products were always right there where we could handle them and evaluate whether they'll meet our needs and justify their cost. Then came e-commerce, and now we're expected to buy things based upon a brief description and a few tiny photos. The way people shop has changed dramatically. We're now seeing a shift toward digital first consumers who are comfortable researching and buying online. However, traditional e-commerce does have limitations. There's no problem when you're buying familiar commodity items like furnace filters, but when faced with the prospect of purchasing something novel or expensive or visceral, pulling the trigger on an online purchase becomes more fraught. This has created a need for more engaging and immersive shopping experiences that bridge the gap between the online and offline worlds. This brings us to augmented reality. So, what exactly is AR? Simply put, AR is a technology that overlays digital information, images, text, 3D models onto one's view of the real world. Unlike virtual reality, which creates a completely immersive digital environment, AR enhances the user's existing environment. AR for e-commerce is done almost exclusively on phones and tablets today. It makes use of the device camera to display digital information that's integrated into the video seen on the screen. This technology, where a screen is mediating our view of the world, has another term that you may have heard before known as mixed reality, like the Apple Vision Pro and the Meta Quest headsets, if you're familiar with them. Those essentially work in the same way. But for the sake of simplicity, I'll be referring to smartphone experiences as AR today. So AR is a game changer for retail. It allows businesses to overcome the limitations of online shopping and enhance the in-store experience. AR can bring the product to the customer, allowing them to visualize it in their own space. It can also enhance the in-store experience, providing additional information and interactive elements. Ultimately, AR can create a more seamless and integrated shopping journey. Let's look at some of the key ways that AR is being used in retail today. We'll look at virtual try-on, product visualization, and enhanced product information. These are just a few examples, and the possibilities are constantly expanding. So virtual try-on is one of the most popular applications of AR in retail. AR allows customers to see how shoes, clothing, makeup, or accessories will look on them without having to physically try them on. This increases purchase confidence, it reduces returns, and can even provide personalized recommendations. AR can also be used to help customers visualize how products will look and fit in their homes. This is particularly useful for furniture, appliances, art, and other home decor and furnishings. By allowing customers to see a product in their own space, AR helps them to make more informed decisions, reducing the likelihood of returns. AR can also enhance the shopping experience by providing customers with additional product information. Customers can use their smartphones to scan a product and access details, specifications, and even interactive tutorials. This empowers customers to make more informed purchase decisions. In the example on screen now, AR is being used in a warehouse store to virtually unbox a product that there is no space to physically display in the aisle. So an AR shopping experience typically works like this. This is an example from one of our customers. A call to action button on the product page is pressed. It's a bit small for you to see, but this one says view rug in your space. This opens an instruction screen to help the user have a successful experience. The device camera opens, it scans the scene to map the surface and determine its distance from the camera. It then anchors the 3D product model to the surface, and note how it obeys scale and perspective in the view. Because AR requires a mobile device camera, for those shopping on computers, we bridge them to the mobile experience with a QR code. They can then continue their shopping journey on their phone or go back to the PC after the AR experience is complete. Now the benefits and driving growth and loyalty. So the benefits of AR for businesses are significant. Here are some of the key ways that AR can impact your bottom line. It can increase customer engagement. It can improve conversion rates. It can reduce product returns, and it can create stronger brand loyalty. Let's get into this a little bit deeper. So AR creates more engaging, interactive, and personalized shopping experiences. This leads to increased customer satisfaction and stronger emotional connections with brands. Brands using AR are seeing significant improvements in customer engagement. By allowing customers to try before they buy, AR increases purchase confidence and reduces buyer remorse. And this leads to higher conversion rates, reduced return rates, and dramatic increases in time on site, all of which have a very direct impact on the bottom line. AR can also help businesses build stronger brand loyalty. Shoppers have many options of where to shop, and loyalty is hard to come by when most purchase decisions are based on price alone. So AR experiences are fun, they're memorable, they're shareable, and this can all help differentiate them from your competition, build affinity, increase brand awareness, and make it more likely that they'll visit your site again in the future. So now we can talk about some real world success stories. So IKEA's AR app called IKEA Place allows users to visualize furniture pieces in their homes before purchasing them. This is one of their first such e-commerce experiences to hit the market. It allows customers to see true to scale 3D models of furniture in their space, helping them to assess the size, fit, and the style compatibility. The app contributed to a 14% increase in online sales in its very first year. Another source claims a 35% increase in online sales since the app's launch. Customers using the app are reportedly 11% more likely to complete the purchase. It's been credited with helping to reduce product returns by 20%, likely due to customers making more informed decisions about size and fit. By embracing AR technology, IKEA positioned itself as an innovative and forward-thinking brand. Next is Sephora. They're a leader in the beauty industry, and they've integrated AR technology into their app with the visual artist feature. The app allows users to try on various makeup products, including lipstick, eyeshadow, blushes, and even false lashes from a wide range of brands that are sold at Sephora. The visual try-on experience uses the user's phone camera to map their facial features, enabling the AR technology to overlay the makeup realistically on their face. Since its launch, Sephora has reported a 200% increase in engagement and a 30% increase in lipstick sales. The success of Sephora's AR implementation demonstrates the value of an interactive and personalized online shopping experience in the cosmetic space. To tackle the challenge of finding the perfect shoe size, Nike introduced its innovative AR tool called Nike Fit. Nike was noticing that people often ordered shoes in multiple sizes, then returning the ones that didn't fit, which really drove up shipping and restocking costs. By using the smartphone's camera to scan the user's feet, Nike Fit recommends the optimal shoe size for each style. This AR-powered feature has led to a 20% reduction in product returns related to sizing issues and 15% increase in online sales. Online retailer Warby Parker integrated AR technology into their site to allow customers to virtually try on glasses before purchasing. The virtual try-on feature uses facial mapping to overlay frames onto the user's face, resulting in a seamless shopping experience. Prior to this, they solely relied upon their home try-on program, whereby they ship 5 pairs of glasses to you, then the customer ships back the ones they don't want to keep. So this two-way shipping incurs a significant cost to Warby Parker, as well as a sustainability liability in packaging and transport emissions. Since its implementation, Warby Parker has experienced a 50% increase in online sales and a 35% reduction in product returns. So these examples demonstrate that successful AR applications address specific customer needs and pain points in the retail experience. If you're considering implementing AR in your business, there are several key considerations. So AR isn't for every product or business. It's not going to improve your toothpaste sales. It works best for products that people are not already intimately familiar with. Product suitability factors include their relationship to cost, scale, decorative value, and personal appearance. Go into it with clear objectives in mind and ask yourself what KPIs you're hoping to achieve and whether you have clear knowledge of how to measure those KPIs today so you have a baseline to compare against after your implementation. You also have some basic technology decisions to make. Web-based experiences don't require shoppers to install anything on their device in order to engage, but native apps offer more powerful experiences and greater customizability. Technology has to be intuitive for your customers to use. Know your audience and whether they will be able to intuitively grasp how to engage or whether they may require some level of instruction. Integration with your existing systems is another important consideration. Will it work with your e-commerce platform and or your product information system? And then there's privacy. Does the tech that you're implementing require that personal images or data be transmitted to yours or another server? Even if it doesn't, might your shoppers feel uncomfortable if they don't feel in control of their personal information? Augmented reality implementations require a stack of highly specialized skills that your typical agency or store developer likely does not possess. There's a steep learning curve involved, and it's not recommended that you trust a provider who tells you that they can just figure it out. Ask for links to other stores where you can audition their work. Make sure those sites have smooth, intuitive experiences that are easy to understand. If you're looking for a custom system to be developed for you, expect the cost to run into the tens of thousands of dollars or more. It's best to use existing software that's built to be customizable and configurable whenever possible. Make sure that the technology you're implementing will work on a wide range of devices of various brands, power, and age. And your tech should also work when people don't have a strong or fast internet connection. Most AR experiences require 3D models, and you need models that accurately represent your product. Not all 3D modelers are skilled at product modeling, so choose wisely. Don't assume that your customers will know how to use AR. Always build for your grandmother to understand and offer simple instructions to follow for the uninitiated. So, how can Nvzn help you? Nvzn was founded in 2020 to be a provider of web-first AR experiences for e-commerce. Our leading solution is for sellers of art and wall decor. This is a great use case because art is a highly emotional purchase that also has a strong relationship to cost and one's decor. We have the top solution in this category in the Shopify App Store, and our WooCommerce version is currently in beta testing. We also support sellers on any other platform with our universal API. In addition to art sellers, we have customers using it for clocks, mirrors, acoustic panels, wallpaper, wall decals, and tapestries. Our newest solution is for sellers of rugs and floor decor. It's implemented through an embedded API, thus making it work for any platform. Not only is it great for rug sellers, but we also have carpet, tile, and vinyl flooring sellers using it to replace their sampling programs. They're excited about the sustainability aspects of people using virtual previews in lieu of shipping out samples that inevitably wind up in the landfill. And we have another solution that works great for about every other kind of household items that are suitable for AR. This allows customers to place the products exactly where they want to try them out to see how they look and fit into their space. It's a super powerful experience, and our customers use it for everything from furniture and furnishings to camping tents, e-bikes, cabinetry hardware, and appliances. We also offer product configurators that allow the shoppers to try different variants or combinations of features. In this example I'm showing you here, we created an experience for a seller of home organization goods that offers different storage basket sizes, colors, and quantities. The AR bit then allows the shopper to see how the configuration looks and fits on a countertop or shelf or in their closet. So that's it for the presentation part today. And yeah, let's get into questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ron. That was really interesting. And for those of you attending live, please go ahead and start entering your questions in the chat down below. You'll see there's that Q&A bubble. Go ahead and start putting your questions there so that way we can be sure to get to them. But to kick things off, I'd love to know, this was a lot of really great information. We saw sort of where augmented reality started and where it's at now. What would you say is something that excites you the most about the role of AR in the future of online shopping?
Sure. So, this is the very early days of AR technology. And what we're really seeing as the future of AR is wearables. And so many of you have probably seen the Meta Quest or the Apple Vision Pro got a lot of attention, not all of it positive. These devices are early stage representations of the future to come. And so what we're already seeing is wearables that are getting closer to the glasses form, like I'm wearing now. In fact, Meta currently has a partnership with Ray-Ban, and their Ray-Bans are capable of understanding the environment around the user and feeding information to them. Today, it's just audio, but they've got new devices that have been announced and demonstrated that actually provide video information inside the glasses to the user. So, really, what has to happen is for this technology uh, to be adopted is first it has to be useful. It has to provide use cases that are valuable to people. But people also have to feel comfortable wearing these devices around. They don't want to look dorky. They don't want to look like cyborgs. They don't want them to be heavy and uncomfortable. They need, you know, they need the information that uh, that they need at the time they need it in the context they need it in. So we're seeing artificial intelligence uh, come to call for that. And so what AI can do is understand your preferences, understand where you are, what you're doing, and what information is needed. And that information will be fed to us through our auditory and visual senses. Um, and um, and this will have a role in e-commerce, in shopping. Um, and so, we won't need to sit in front of a computer or sit in front of our phone in order to have e-commerce experiences. Maybe we'll be walking down the street, somebody walk by wearing a hat that we think is so cool, and we want it. And so just by staring at it and maybe um, fixing your stare on it for 3 seconds will indicate to your wearables that that's something you're interested in, and it will show you options for buying it and what colors it comes in and all of that. And you can buy it as you continue to walk down the street. That'll be cool.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool. Thank you. So yeah, I am curious too, like beyond augmented reality, what other emerging technologies? I know you mentioned the AI kind of integration, but what other technologies do you see shaping the future of e-commerce besides from these like wearables and augmented reality?
Yeah, so let's talk more about AI. It's hard not to. It's certainly dominating the tech headlines these days, and there's reason for it. It is super powerful, and those of you who are using it or beginning to incorporate it into your daily workday, whether it's helping to write an email, helping to build a presentation, um, there's so many things we're just starting to use it for. But what we're also seeing is AI agents that help us with our e-commerce. And there are a number of startups who are focused on this space where, once again, they know our preferences and they can understand, rather than starting our shopping journey on the Amazon page, uh, it's starting it at a neutral place with a bot that you can say, hey, I'm looking for uh, a pair of red uh, running shoes. Uh, my running style, I run maybe 50 miles a week, and I pronate when I run, but only slightly. What shoes would be best for me? And so it can understand a natural question like that and then go out to many, many sites across the internet and find those products for me that meet that need. So what we may be heading toward is kind of a dissolving of individual store experiences to uh, uh, to a agent-driven shopping experience, and that has many implications for you e-commerce retailers.
Yeah, definitely. That's really interesting. So, as you know, Synder specializes in e-commerce automation and financial management. How do you see augmented reality impacting key financial aspects like sales forecasting or maybe revenue growth?
Um, so you're asking how AR can contribute to that?
Yeah, if it can, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, AR is more of a means to augment the customer experience, and I really haven't thought about how it may, help the merchant with their operations. I'm not sure if I have a good answer for you there.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Now, I know we did talk about like the platforms and tools that a customer or that a business could use to start implementing this. Do you have any suggestions? Like if there was just, somebody's a little bit overwhelmed, they're looking at, how do I start to implement this? What are like the first like 2 to 3 like things that they need to make sure they have in place or do first if they want to start exploring this as an option?
Sure. So, most of Cinder's customers are probably uh, trading on e-commerce platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, Weebly. We're tracking over 150 e-commerce platforms, and so most of those have have app stores or plugin stores of some sort where they offer solutions for sellers. And just using the Shopify example because it's perhaps best known these days. There are actually dozens of AR related apps that can help sellers of not just art and rugs, but also um, watches, glasses, uh, makeup, and clothing, right? So, and most of these apps have free trials, and I would encourage, people just to go try those apps, take advantage of those free trials. And Most of those apps are somewhat straightforward and simple and quick to get up and running to start running tests. And ideally, you want to go into it with some baseline um, statistics for your engagement and conversion and so forth, and then uh, measure what happens after you implement those apps. Um, Ideally, do some A/B testing simultaneously, where some customers are getting one experience, other customers another, and gives you an opportunity to compare apps versus those AR apps versus those not using them, as well as playing different AR apps against each other. So there's a lot you can do to get started without making a big dollar commitment.
Amazing. Thank you. So, I just want to remind the attendees that are here live, we still have a few minutes for you to get your questions in. So please go ahead and add those into the chat. We'd love to answer your questions. This is a very new topic for a lot of people, so I'm sure there are questions that you have. So as we kind of look to wrapping up here, what would you say is your like, kind of final advice for brands that want to merge the physical and digital shopping experiences successfully?
So I would say engage with it from the shopper perspective yourself and gain an understanding of the power of bringing a product virtually into your own environment. I get told all the time um, by people when they hear, what we do here at Nvzn. It's like, oh, I just bought a sofa last week on Amazon. They had an AR experience for that, and it was great. It really saved me so much time. It really, uh, gave me the confidence to order this couch knowing that when it comes that it's going to fit in my space and I'm not going to hate it. I'm not going to have to worry about the prospect of returning something big and massive and heavy and going through that pain. And so as a as a seller, if you can put yourself in the shopper's shoes and engage in those experiences that are available today from other retailers, um, build your own understanding of that power because not only does it affect the bottom line for e-commerce sellers, but for shoppers, it's it's a tool that once they've used it, they want to use it more. They come to expect to find it on other sites. And at some point, I mean, we are still in the early days of AR implementation for e-commerce, but at some point, you're going to be behind if you're not using it. And that's going to put you at a competitive disadvantage.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, even just looking at the examples that you gave earlier, personally, I've used all but one of those in purchases that I've made. So I'm sure attendees here can, have used those as well. So yeah, it's almost like you expect it now, even though it's new. It's yet new, but yet it's sort of like you want that experience. People are coming to really rely on it, I would say.
Yes, yeah. Um, and we get great feedback from our customers, our merchants. Um, we have very little churn, once they start using it and once they see the results on their site and their sales. Um, it's something that they want to like broaden their footprint on. If they're implementing it for one product category, then they start to spread it to other product categories. So yeah, it's undeniable that it's making merchants happy and shoppers happy.
Yeah, definitely. I think even just looking at the what you mentioned about the, benefits to like return rates, for customers who just for a smaller e-commerce brand, that could be really big to not have, especially if you're selling something like clothing items where there is going to be, you try it on, you want to, see maybe like you said that someone would order two sizes of something because they don't know if they'll fit. Well, that item has to get restocked. And if you're a small startup or, not like one of the big guys like Amazon trying to manage those returns, I imagine is really costly. So this is a great way probably to actually save money rather than thinking of it as an expense.
In the apparel market, where we don't actually offer a solution yet, but we're working on it
Mhm.
because we want ours to be the best when it comes out. So, um, but don't quote me on this statistic, but there's a very high percentage of clothing that when it's returned back to the seller is not resellable and is ending up in the landfill. So I've heard, I seem to remember, something in the 40% range where it's coming back soiled or has pet hair on it or um, it's clearly been worn and can't be resold. And so, this incurs not only a huge cost to the seller, who is paying, in most cases, paying to return that item back to them. They're paying the return shipping. Uh, and then restocking it is expensive, but if they can't restocking it, throwing away is even more expensive. And then you have the sustainability hit of it filling our landfills, the additional return shipping liability with respect to energy and emissions. And so, yeah, there's so much to take into consideration with the value of what AR can bring to the merchant.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I can't wait to see how it progresses. I mean, we're already, you know, seeing some really unique things, especially how you talked about with the wearables and stuff. That'll be interesting to see how that changes over the years. So I'd love to, so it looks like we don't have any questions, but if you could, let listeners know how they can get in touch with you, how they can see what Nvzn could possibly do for their e-commerce brand. If we could put a link, to your website in the chat, that would be great. And
Sure.
for those watching who are interested in getting a preview of Synder, we will also put a link in the chat where you can sign up to, get a demo, check out what we have to offer there. And there we go. There's Ron's website in there. Hang on one second. It looks like that went to hosts and panelists. Let me just copy it and I'll put it into
Oh,
everyone.
thanks. Oh, yeah, I guess that was the default. I was not paying
Yeah,
attention.
I don't know. Yeah, it does go default there. Let me just see there. Okay, everyone should be able to see that now. And then there's also to book a discovery call with Cinder right above that. So thank you everyone for joining us today. And Ron, thank you. This has been really interesting. I really enjoyed the presentation and the conversation we had afterwards. So thanks for being here today. And thank you to all of our guests and those who will watch online later. We appreciate it and we hope to see you next time.
Thanks for having me, Melissa.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.